Okay, so the meeting of Fallbrook Union Elementary School District teleconferencing at 5/17 at 5 p.m. is called to order. First thing we'll be doing is the flag salute. Suzanne, would you like to lead us in the flag salute?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the next event is our retirement celebration, which is so wonderful that we have, I think, 17 of our retirees here with us tonight. We'll be reconvening our board meeting. It is now 6:04. And we'll start with approval of the minutes of the May 3rd, 2021 regular meeting. You have a motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
So we have a first and a second. Are there any discussion? So I will start with Suzanne. How do you vote? Aye. And Mr. Cordella.
Aye.
And Mrs. Rivas.
Aye.
And Mrs. Lopez.
Aye.
And I also vote aye. And now we will move on to community relations. We have a hearing session. Do we have
We do not have any comments, no.
any?
Thank you to all our attendees listening.
Yes. Thank you for those of you who joined our meeting. Yes. And now we will begin reports from the board, and I will begin with Mrs. Lopez.
The only thing I have reported attending the portrait of an 8th grader this last week, and I thought it was one of the best that I have attended so far, just because we got to talk about the expectations and some of the skills and values that the kids would hope to be learning and taking away with them. So I thought it was again very nicely done, and good attendance, people showing up each time. So that's it.
Let's see, do I have my sound? There we go. Now I have sound. My colleague and I toured La Paloma Elementary School, and a huge thank you to Principal Claudia De Leon, who took us around, I think, every classroom. And it was magnificent. Got a sense from kindergarten all the way through 6th grade. And you could sort of get a sense of the development of children when you do it that fast. You kind of get a really great bird's eye view. It was a good experience because I was surprised at how many times there are breakout sessions within a classroom, kids scattered in groups on the floor and all working on a project. So different from the kind of education that I was familiar with, and so exciting. It was hard to pull myself out of some of the classrooms. They were having a great time, and they were learning. I guess project-based learning is really finding its way in our schools, and it makes so much sense to integrate social studies and math and art and music all into one exercise. So it was a great learning experience, a marvelous time, and I really want to thank Mrs. De Leon for taking the time to take us through. I also sat in on our portrait of an 8th grader session, and they've been terrific, and I look forward to the next one.
Thank you so very much. Mr. Cordella?
Well, no, I don't have much to report. I just know that the school year is coming to a close, so I know my 8th grader is getting very anxious and excited, and we're getting excited about it as well. So I'm looking forward to all that.
Thank you. And Mrs. Rivas?
Thank you. First of all, I wanted to say congratulations and thank you to all the retirees. But the collective knowledge of that group of people is just immeasurable. And one thing I know about great teachers and employees is they always just kind of naturally mentor the people that are around them. So I know they will have passed their knowledge on to other people, and our students will still benefit from them. I don't have a lot to report because I was out of town last week visiting family I haven't seen in over a year. So I'm very grateful for my vaccination, and my 14-year-old got his first shot yesterday. So I'm really excited to see the kids start to be able to do more social activities. I also was able to do the portrait of an eighth grader. And I really like how in each session we're in different breakout groups with different people. So you get to meet people from all across the community and all different stakeholders. And just wanted to, well, we're going to talk about staff appreciation, but thank you to all our staff who keep our schools running. And that's my report.
Thank you so much. And my report is also short. I did attend portrait of an eighth grader, and it's such a great event in that you get to see the faces of people that you really want to meet, and you haven't had the opportunity in getting to meet them. I love the idea that they mix us every time. So I have a new cohort every time. I almost feel like we should keep it up forever. Just to keep meeting people in schools and to hear their ideas. It's such an effective thing. And, you know, maybe once a month for 30 minutes, it would just be fun to continue to brainstorm as a group like that. Not necessarily with any goal in mind, other than just to, you know, so many people have great ideas without a platform. And sometimes a platform just as simple as a Zoom meeting for 30 minutes, you have something come up and it can change the trajectory of the school. So I do enjoy it very much. And I also attended La Paloma School. I love that school. One of my children went through this school, and so many of these retirees. I mean, I really feel I am their age, so I really appreciate all their service, and I really enjoyed walking through La Paloma because even though my daughter teaches there and I had a son who went to school there, it's always changing. You know, it's always changing. Even since Dr. Singh and I, the board visited, the home academy has moved to that new portable, which is beautiful, by the way. Excellent installation. You can't even tell really that it's been added, and I guess the Boys and Girls Club are now in the other location. So you get to see all the what you do is that's unbelievable. Just this constant moving and making decisions, it's endless. So I want to thank you for all your service, and thank our retired teachers for all of their years of service. And Mr. Billingsley, it's wonderful having been on this side knowing you. You know, I mean, think about the 4 board members that joined when you're gone. And wonderful, and he's promised me to give maybe all of us, but I asked, so hopefully I will for sure get it, his YouTube contact so we can.
That's right. I'm a man of my word.
In
I'll send it.
person, he thinks he's gonna get away from us. And then I'd like to turn, that's the end of my report, and I'd like to turn it over to our superintendent.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Leader. Thank you. I just was briefly again, and I think some of them may be listening now because I think our guests are gone, is just to acknowledge and thank our HR staff that works with Mr. Billingsley for really hosting and creating and organizing. You know, it always, when you have a kind of an event like this, it seems seamless on the surface, but we know it takes a lot of time to plan, and we're so grateful for our retirees who came in, and even though they had been retired and gone, and that was fun to see some of them too. So what a wonderful opportunity to celebrate the great work that has happened in our school district. You're also tonight on our agenda is our resolution for our week of the classified employee. I know you're going to spend some time on that in a minute, but as has been mentioned, they are the engine of our school district, and I can't even imagine having done what we've accomplished in the last year during this pandemic, and everything we did from not really even knowing what we were going to do to where we are now would never have been able to happen as successfully as it did without our classified staff. And I know we're all so, it makes me we love and appreciate them so much. They're such an important part of what we do. And so thank you for that. We'll have a resolution here in a minute, and we'll be communicating them again on your behalf this week to thank them, but we want to really just acknowledge them. Mr. Favela, it is the end of the year, which is as for your eighth grader and for lots of eighth graders. As you know, we have our promotions scheduled following all of our health guidelines, dividing Potter into 2 so we can get some nice distance, but gosh, it will certainly be a wonderful thing to see our kids in person and to be able to celebrate with them their promotion to high school and then out at San Onofre School as well. And just, to be this close to the end of the year, I actually am just stunned that we are very, very busy right now writing and finishing our LCAP, which we're so excited to bring to you, incorporating all of our feedback from the community and from you over the last number of weeks and months. That's coming, and our budget and, our summer school plans and all the things. So while it feels like it may be winding down, it could not be any more bandwidth is necessary at the moment. So I want to acknowledge our executive cabinet tonight. We, as they say, when you make it look easy, people think it is, and we know it isn't. And the three folks who are sitting up here with us tonight we're ending the year strong, and are so pleased and excited for our upcoming board meetings to be sharing with you what we have planned for in our LCAP. And so it's been really a hectic but very productive time. We're feeling really, really confident about the end of the year. And just again, as always, thank you for your support. Mrs. Lieber, thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you very much for your report. Now we will move on to presentations. So we have a DLAC DAC presentation. And I believe we'll be having someone come in.
Yes, we're waiting.
Okay.
So-
Favorite presentation of the year.
Good.
Good evening, Governing Board. My name is Dr. Leah Curcio. I'm the Director of Curriculum and Instruction, and one of the joys and privileges of my work is working with our parents and our families in the community. I am joined today by Senora Arias, the Assistant Principal at Fraser, our DLAC DAC President, Senora Salmaron, and our DLAC and DAC Secretary, Senora Castaneda. They will share a little bit about themselves as they get into their presentation today. I'm just going to lead us off with a little bit of context. Our DLAC and DAC, so it's two committees that meet jointly throughout the year, but our District English Learner Advisory Committee and then the District Advisory Committee, we meet approximately 8 to 10 times a year. 4 of those meetings are joint, and that's the DAC side that joins in, and then the District English Advisory Committee meets the other 6 to 8 times. So we meet as a total of 10 times a year, and we have different schools representing all of us. We have 2 parent representatives from every school. So at a DLAC and DAC meeting, schools that don't have ELACs or English learners still come and participate for their representation from their school sites, which is San Onofre and Mary Kay Pendleton. All of the schools send teacher representatives as a part of the committee. In addition to that, we have site administrators that come to meetings throughout the year. They have designated times that they come, and then they are welcome anytime to come. These are public meetings. Agendas are posted 72 hours in advance. And the purpose is to just continue our partnership with our community and our parents and engage them in decision-making. So they provide input, they make recommendations based on data, and they also provide approval and parent input into our district plans that then come to you. And so they are always providing guidance to the different English learner committees at the school sites and also school site councils through their voice. But so it's like a tiered experience. We come together as a group of schools for our whole district, and then we filter out so each school can have their own represented uniqueness when they have their own school site meetings or their own ELAC meetings. So I am actually going to turn this meeting over to Senora Arias and to our president and secretary. I am just the clicker now.
I can always be a quick one.
No worries.
It's not even working for me. There we go.
There you go.
Yay, thank you.
Oh, that's Senora Castaneda.
El 38% de las encuestas se devolvieron. Esto fue 1% más de encuestas devueltas este año. Estuvimos contentos de ver entornos escolares positivos, bienvenidos en la oficina, respetados por el personal y los administradores. La mayoría de las áreas estuvieron superior al 90%. El 82% de los padres sienten que sus hijos están desarrollando destrezas de liderazgo. El 99% sienten que sus hijos están seguros en la escuela.
So one of the great tasks that we have is we do a district needs assessment. We develop it together and then schools take it and add their own school questions, but we have common questions that we gather information from all of our school sites. And then we share those highlights with you so that you can see how it guides the recommendations we make.
Bueno, yo voy a pasar la voz de los padres de familia. En este caso, diré algunas de las sugerencias para consideración en el futuro. Ellos desean que se les ofrezcan clases que les ayuden con la crianza de sus hijos. Quieren un apoyo para responder a sus necesidades sociales y emocionales. Quieren un soporte para ayudarlos con ciertos traumas y cambios de comportamiento. Todo esto se refiere, claro, a la salud mental, que como ya sabemos, los pocos talleres que fueron ofrecidos por el señor Héctor Mesa fueron muy bien recibidos por los padres y nos dijeron que por favor pasáramos la voz, que les gustaría tener una serie de más talleres, porque hay muchos temas que cubrir en estos tiempos que estamos viviendo, ¿verdad? También otras recomendaciones serían continuar con nuestra asociación con el Colegio de Paloma para tener clases en inglés para nuestros adultos, nuestros papás. Continuar también con nuestro programa de orientación estudiantil. A los papás, a todos los papás, incluyéndome a mí, nos encanta tener un consejero por escuela, porque es muy necesario y nos hace mucho bien tenerlo. Y pues todos los papás, soy la voz de todos los papás, todos pedimos que investiguen cómo incluir más música y bellas artes en todas nuestras escuelas del distrito.
So one of the successes this year with CELAC that is not a third that Senora Salmeron mentioned was the great input that was received from all of our parents who attended Mr. Mesa's parenting or classes. He is a psychologist that we contracted, and he was able to work with different school sites. I think a lot of school sites, most school sites with parents. And so that was very successful, and it came up at our meetings, and parents really benefited from everything he had to say, and parents really want to see more of his classes next year. So that was something that came up.
I can't quite hear you, so just speak a tiny bit louder.
Oh, yes.
Maybe
So
you have to move.
should I say the whole thing?
Yes. No, you need it.
And then the other thing that Mrs. Salmeron mentioned was that the counseling program too, and how that was another one of the things that kept coming up at DLAC, and all of our ELAC parents, how lucky we are to have a counselor at every site. We noticed that it's very needed, and that we feel very fortunate that we can offer that.
So I just want to go over with you. There's 4 things that came out of your recommendations, right? One of them isn't listed. These are the other 3, and they were unified from all 8 schools. This was a compilation of all of your.
And I think the recommendation was the social emotional needs and the classes around behavior and mental health. The example is that is what our schools would like. That is what our parents are saying as parents they
You
need.
just move the mic now next to you.
That is what our parents are saying that they need. And the example, how they came to that is Senor Mesa, when he provides those classes, he covers very similar topics, and it was very popular and again asked for, whether it's through that venue or a different venue to provide these types of recommendations for our parents. We listen every year to the recommendations for workshops that come out, and then we bring them to you as a committee.
Excellent. You know, Alair has some additional items that they've been wanting to do in parenting. I don't know if you work with Alair in conjunction with this DLAC and back.
As a community member, I am a part of that group and they do share findings that they have. But, and they do come to our DLAC and DAC committees to present on things, including volunteering for the program itself.
Logros. Se repasó el plan de responsabilidad y control local. Contribuimos al LCAP. Se repasó el anexo federal del LCAP, plan de fondos federales del título. Se repasó y se actualizaron los criterios del distrito para reclasificar a los estudiantes. Se planificó la celebración de la reclasificación. Apoyamos a las escuelas con una variedad de asuntos para tratar en las juntas de ILAC y ideas para la educación de los padres en las escuelas.
So DLAC also provides a lot of input, and we do the same exercises that are done at the different sites. So it's a great experience for all of our parents to ensure that they provide their feedback. One of the other things that's one of our favorite things, I think, for DLAC is planning the reclassification celebration. So this year it was virtual, but I think that it was great. And I think our committee and our moms here did a great job. A lot of the brainchild of our committee, and I think Ms. Salmeron had lots of ideas. So that is one of the things, one of our successes, one of our great things that we always are very proud of is our reclassification celebration.
And as a parent committee, also the DAC, when we're looking at our LCAP and our federal addendum, that is when the DAC schools are also invited because those are global plans that cover not just English learners, but all students in all of those specialized programs.
Ahora yo voy a hablar de los asuntos que se trataron en este año. Uno de ellos que tratamos en este ciclo escolar fueron cómo fomentar la participación de todos nuestros padres en las escuelas por medio del plan familiar del Distrito para los Padres. También les sugerimos a los padres qué preguntas podían hacer y cómo ellos podían hablar con los maestros cuando era el momento de tener una conferencia de padre y maestro. Les sugerimos como qué preguntas o más o menos así. También tratamos sobre LPAC para que los padres entendieran bien qué son las pruebas de suficiencia en el idioma inglés de California que sus hijos presentarían en un futuro para saber si podrán o no ser reclasificados. Y también compartimos cosas que se pueden hacer con los estudiantes durante los recesos escolares.
So although these are the main topics, although it is important to recognize that we go into depth with all of these so that we really make sure that our parents who attend these meetings are very knowledgeable in all of these areas, because these are areas that we would like to ensure that our parents really understand, especially reclassification, what to do with our students, especially over breaks, etc.
Y ahora voy a hablar sobre qué pasa cada año. Cada año nos reunimos con todos los miembros del comité y solicitamos ideas o asuntos de interés para ellos para tratarlos durante todo el año. También volvemos a repasar asuntos principales que requieren de nuestra contribución y aporte.
Really, it is her sharing and all of us sharing that each year we have different topics that come up based on parent needs, but that we also revisit topics like single plans for student achievement when our DAC comes together with our DLAC. And we go through some of the same topics because they change each year based on our students' needs. We want to thank all of you. And if you have any questions for us, we are here.
Very nice.
It was a great presentation. Thank you.
You guys have accomplished a lot.
Gracias para publicar. Es muy amable de ustedes porque tienen niños en la casa y usted está representar mucha gente en esta ciudad. So, gracias por el tiempo.
Of course. That's right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Terrific, ladies. Thank you.
Good job.
Nice to see you.
And now we will move on to a presentation by May Ellis Elementary Parent Lighthouse Team.
Wonderful.
Chair?
Of course.
Good evening, Governing Board, Dr. Singh, Cabinet, friends watching. I'm very excited to be here today with a great team of parents. I'm Dr. Alex Gonzalez, Principal of May Ellis. And we have a wonderful presentation for you guys tonight, and the great work that we're doing at May Ellis. But before I do that, I wanted to share a message from our PTSA president and our ELEC president in our school. I asked them, I'm going to meet with the board this evening. Is there a message you want to send to them or share with them? And this is what they came up with. It says, we just want to thank the entire FUESD team, from the superintendent to the administrators, teachers, and staff for the exceptional work this school year. Every family wanted their kids back in school full time, but every family also wanted their children, family and community to be safe from the virus. What an incredible, difficult balancing act. And yet the FUESD leadership managed to pull it off exceptionally well and successfully this year. I am so appreciative that opinions and feedback of stakeholders were sought at every turn, and those thoughts and ideas were then turned into action, whether it was from the Fallbrook Virtual Academy, expanded nutrition services, or wider access to technology for every child. We have yet to hear of a school district anywhere in San Diego County, let alone in this entire state, that has handled this entire situation better than Fallbrook Union Elementary School District. That speaks volumes of the entire staff, from the superintendent to the part-time playground supervisors. So we thank you for that. Mil gracias.
Nice.
That's great.
We have accomplished so many things at May Ellis this year, but one of our greatest accomplishments has been to be able to offer a school, in-person instruction and keeping everyone safe at the same time. That was our number one priority, the safety of our children. And we did everything we could to make sure that they were safe every day and well taken care of. So tonight we have here a wonderful team, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves right now. But I just want to also say that Mrs. Taylor is also part of this amazing team, and she's probably watching this right now. So we want to say a little hello to Mrs. Taylor for her support and for always guiding us to, through this whole process with our May Ellis Parent Lighthouse team. So I'll start to my left.
My name is Carla Ureno, and I am the school counselor at May Ellis.
My name is Melissa Hoy, and I'm a parent of a first grader at May Ellis. My name is Autumn Ortiz, and I'm also a parent of a first grader at May Ellis.
Hi, my name is Miriam Burke, and I also a parent of my first grader.
Okay, so just a brief overview of our presentation today. We're going to first start off about the power of parent engagement. So why is parent engagement so important, and what benefits does it bring? We'll cite some articles from that. Then we're going to go on to talk about how it all started, how this Parent Lighthouse team started, go over the parent survey that we sent out to all of our parents and what the final committee is composed of. Then our wonderful parents are going to go over our Parent Lighthouse focus. So all three action teams, the red, green, and blue parents will share their work. And finally, are planned for the 2021-2022 school year.
So the power of parent engagement, obviously, everyone in this room knows how important parent engagement is. So we looked at the Leader in Me program, and luckily for us, we have a great framework that we can rely on and use as a guide. We also looked at the guiding principles for dual language schools to kind of give us some light on what parent engagement is in their perspective, and the panorama surveys that we have been sharing with our parents as of late. So when we look at the Leader in Me program, when they define parents as first teachers. Over the span of 180 days, the student only spends 11% of the time at school. That's about 943 hours. The majority of their time, almost 50%, is dedicated to family life at home. The parent is the child's first and most influential teacher by laying the foundation for the education of their mind, heart, body, and spirit. No matter what is going on at school, the parent can help the child discover the leader within themselves and prepare them for the future of contribution and service. Looking at the dual language, at the guiding principles for dual language education, they state that studies also show that students demonstrate more school success when their families are engaged. More specifically, family engagement is associated with higher student grades, higher achievement, higher language proficiency, and better social skills, and higher graduation rates and enrollment in post-secondary education. And that is our goal at Mayales.
So this is an excerpt from the Panorama Education website, Family Engagement in Schools, a Comprehensive Guide. Research shows that involving families in their children's education is paramount to student success. When families are meaningfully and continually engaged in their children's learning and development, it has a positive impact on their child's health, academic, and well-being outcomes. Furthermore, numerous studies have shown that family involvement can benefit all students, especially those less likely to succeed in school.
So how did it all start? Well, you have to ask parents to join and to be part of our program. And if you ask, they will join and they will participate. So we sent as you know, deadline was Friday, October 16, 2020. We sent a survey to all parents at Mayales in both languages, Spanish and English, inviting to participate in this committee. We had a committee of 18. Our committee right now, it's 18 strong members. And in representing the committee is members from ELAC, PTSA, and the School Site Council. So the focus of the our Parent Lighthouse team, and I'd like to hand it over to Ms. Ortiz now. She's going to talk a little bit about the red team, and as you can see, they're color coded there, so you'll know who's talking. Ms. Ortiz is the parent lead for our red team, our action team. So she's going to talk a little bit about her experience.
Thank you. So yes, I'm the parent of a first grader at Mayales, and I'm excited to have her there. It's been a great adventure being a part of Mayales, even though 50% of last year was COVID, and part of this year was as well. But I'm very happy to be here and be a part of our red team. Our goal is to really teach families about the 7 habits and sort of the principles of the Leader in Me concept. So what we have talked about within our red team is finding ways to educate the parents about those and get them involved in what these different habits are for their kids. So we want to do a bilingual video of our student Lighthouse leaders to create and to distribute to the families on a monthly basis is kind of our goal. So we're thinking maybe each month we would have one of the students record a video in both English and in Spanish to be sent out to parents to just get them involved, encourage them to ask questions. Maybe we might attach activities or a calendar of things they could do throughout the month to help them incorporate the habits into their home. And simple things. I mean, it doesn't have to be some, giant create a scavenger hunt, to teach these skills, but just modeling leadership within the home and just different strategies like that. So we put together this action planning form. We worked together to kind of design what it is that we wanted to get, and also to acknowledge how are we going to measure our results of the videos to the family. So that's our main focus for our upcoming year. We highlighted some of the action steps that we need to achieve these results. And so going through all of those different steps, of course, we want to use the paradigms to guide our approaches in how we're incorporating this into educating the family. So the paradigm of potential and the paradigm of leadership, of using the students to produce the videos and send out to families. So yeah, so we're working to create the calendar of events and with each of the habits, and identify the students that are interested in creating the videos, getting some scripts approved and getting them filmed and sent out to families next year is our goal. Yeah.
Good evening again. My name is Miriam Earth. Like I said, I have two students in my LS, first grade and fourth grade. They have given me the opportunity to know the beginning and the middle part of creating connections. And what we want to do with the Green Team too is bringing the culture to the school by creating those bridges not only between the communities, but also between parents and students and school and staff. Bringing not just any type of event, but more cultural events where everybody can learn from everybody. And we need more of the participation. That's what we want to see, participation of the parents, the school, the students themselves. We want them to tell us what would they like to see, what would they like to learn. And also by planning these events, we want to hear their feedback. We want to know what they want or what they believe we did good, or how can a parent or also the school can improve. And by doing that, we're connecting also, like I said, the communities, like I'm part of the Eli committee, and I can see that closeness too. And we got this together with the leadership where we're thinking about doing different events depending on the month. We can create, for example, the other Los Muertos, creating the parents to step in and bring what they bring from their hometowns, all different in there too. We want to involve the parents to participate in a point that it doesn't have to be just the lighthouse parents. They doesn't have to be all the same parents again and again, but bring everybody, make them comfortable enough to bring in, share with them however they can, not just being at school present, but also just like giving us ideas, like communicating to the students, to the teachers. And we have put that together too, and bring some examples from past leadership to help us, and mostly get that closeness and activities and make it fun for everybody as well as educational for us too. We just want to create a big closeness together in our group and our school.
Yep.
Hi, so again, my name is Melissa, and I do have a first grader at Mayella. And I joined the Parent Lighthouse Committee because I saw how genuinely motivated the teachers and staff and parents were to develop some confident and caring students. And I really wanted to be a part of implementing those ideals, not only at home, but as a collaborative effort among different school-based committees. I think that parent involvement can be a really powerful tool to set academic and social expectations for kids, as well as reinforce what they're learning at school. So I'm a participant of the Blue Team, which is the academic team, and I enjoy attending our Lighthouse meetings to offer my parent perspective and also listen and gain valuable insight about setting the students up for academic success. We typically get together and discuss how the parents and teachers can create transparency with test scores, homework, assessments, and then discuss a plan of action to see progress among the students. For example, an area of focus right now is developing a plan of action to measure and encourage students' growth with iStation, which is, you probably know, it's an award-winning Spanish language learning program. And it's really valuable because they can work on it at home, which is important when we're getting that communication between parents and students to establish those progress goals. Our goal is for the students to be comfortable with the process of tracking their own goals using the iStation indicators of progress, which are assessments that they perform once a month. They're about 20 minutes. And we want them to be able to share these goals with their families as well as the teachers and create goals for themselves to really encourage that accountability among themselves. Measuring these goals will be accomplished.
Sorry.
By seeing progress in the iStation assessment tiers, 3 being the lowest and 1 being the highest, and seeing the students be able to discuss the results and progress with their teachers and guardians and the parents. The action steps needed to achieve these results include sharing with parents the lead measure results and creating templates of these lead measures to build on with parents. Bring awareness about iStation and developing the 4DX goals, which are, isolating a really important goal, acting on those progress reports, keeping track of their progress and being accountable. And we also want to really encourage consistency with goal reflection and commit these goals to the students' leadership notebooks. And the paradigms that guide this process are the paradigm of motivation and education. So students will be empowered to create and accomplish their own goals, which will promote not only their academic learning, but also their individuality.
Next steps. Can you click on this, Mr.? Thank you. So this is what we did one of our last meetings that we had a couple of weeks ago. We talked about what is it that we want to see in our committees, right? So let's plan out, let's just throw out ideas. And what we did, we took one of those ideas and through the whole planning, the action planning process. And so as you can see, there's a lot of things that the red team identified there, as well as the blue team. And if you keep scrolling down, you'll see some of the ideas from the green team. The green team really got into it. They wanted to make it happen next year. So we have a lot of great things happening next year. So if you want to, have a good time, go to Mayales next year. We're gonna have International Dance Festival. We're gonna have father, daughter, mother, son dance. Just bringing a lot more those opportunities for parents to be engaged and feel valued and comfortable at our school. That's what we want them to feel. So those are the great things that we're planning next year. And what we did this year, we wanted them to go through the process of planning, one of the events. Thank you. So, Parent Lighthouse goals.
The blue team would like to use parents' funds of knowledge. Basically, we all have something that we can contribute to our children's learning, helping them to learning new concepts, establishing like a base of knowledge in any area. It doesn't have to just be academic. Increase student leadership opportunities. I think that kids really thrive in their responsibility and objectives.
Of course, the red team is the leadership team, so we want to just have more parents that are willing to be leaders and be involved within the school in different ways. As Mrs. Zerb was talking about, can look in all kinds of different ways. Doesn't have to just be physically there to volunteer in the classroom. And so discussing that and educating parents about that. And then syncing all 3 of our different lighthouses work to our other groups that we have. So we are also part of the PTSA and ELAC and different groups as well. And so getting everybody involved together to work collaboratively, I think is really important and a big key part of all of these things.
As I mentioned before, improving the homeschool communication, get a better communication between everybody. It's not just parent to parent or teacher to student, but everybody in a group together as a team. I think and we believe that will help us improve. Everybody will feel that they're involved, that their voice is being heard, and maintain the consistency on the leadership, which is literally also not only to the teacher, to the student, but the students to understand and feel what is it actually to be a leader, and for the parents to see how their kids are growing to become those leaders that we all want.
So our 2021-2022 plan is very simple, right? First, we want to invite more parents to join our Lighthouse team. We want to engage them in the process, and then we want to make sure that we provide them with opportunities to shine. And then lastly, we want to enjoy the benefits of an engaged parent community. That's basically our plan. It's not very complex, but it's right to the core of what we believe here in Fallbrook, that we believe that every child, every person has a genius inside, and we want to make sure our families have those opportunities to so shine. And then lastly, we just want to, I know that just to thank Dr. Singh for her leadership and just allowing our schools to be part of this Leader in Me program. This is the first year that I really connected with the program, and I feel that we started something that even our coach Molly Garcia has said that she's very proud of the work we're doing, because not a lot of schools have a Parent Lighthouse team, and we just came together. We discussed what can we do, how do we do it, and it's been such a great experience. So thank you, Dr. Singh, and to all the board members for your support. We are very appreciative of these opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to thank the parents for all your volunteer time. It's
Mhm.
really amazing that you have such a dedicated group of volunteers. With you raising kids, I know how complicated it can be to juggle all of that. So thank you so much. Really appreciate your efforts.
Very nice.
I have to say, I have the pleasure of working with Dr. Gonzalez as a parent and a PTA member. And no matter what crazy idea we bring to Dr. Gonzalez, parents that we want to do, he says, let's figure out how to make it happen. Let's figure it out. We'll work on it. And I think that creates this really welcoming environment that makes parents want to get involved and stay involved. And it's super important.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Karen, appreciate your work. Wants to replicate it.
Incredible work.
Yeah,
Wow.
it is. Great group.
So wonderful.
Okay, so we now have a board operation. We are going to have week of the classified employee resolution. And we again are going to do a choral reading, because not any one of us want to not have an opportunity to thank our classified employees, as all of us know that they are the backbone of our schools. And every single day, every one of our children interfaces with one of them in a very meaningful way. So we want to make sure that they understand how much we appreciate all they do for us. I'll begin the reading. It's whereas classified employees serve the students of the Fallbrook Union Elementary School District, and
whereas classified employees continually assist the Fallbrook Union Elementary School District in its commitment to provide quality educational programs and services to the children in this community, and
Whereas classified employees individually and collectively set an exemplary standard of performance and commitment, and
Whereas classified employees provide knowledge, skills, and expertise that are relied upon by all staff throughout the organization.
Now, therefore, be it resolved, the governing board of Fallbrook Union Elementary School District expresses its gratitude and commends all classified employees for their service to the Fallbrook Union Elementary School District in designating May 16 through 22, 2021 as Week of the Classified Employee.
be it further resolved, the governing board of Fallbrook Union Elementary School District encourages activities to recognize and honor classified employees during this week. And this is passed and adopted today, May 17th, 2021, at our regular board meeting. So again, thank you all classified employees for your amazing commitment to our students. We could not be doing all we do, especially this revamping and upping to our game and getting back in the classroom at the level we have without every one of you changing jobs and doing what was necessary to make this happen. So thank you again.
Mrs. Lieber, do we need a vote or is it?
Is this a vote? I believe it is an action item. So now that we have read it, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a first and a second. And do we have any additional comments? Okay, so I'll take a vote. Mrs. Lundin.
Aye.
Mr. Favela.
Aye.
Mrs. Libas.
Aye.
Mrs. Lopez.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Thank you again. Now we'll be moving on to administrative presentation on the reopening of our school year 2021 to a full program. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Lieber. This is, and my comments can be brief here. I wanted to just have the opportunity to reiterate and celebrate the work of our district. And, you know, we've done a lot of communication with our families and in the community so far, and I've had lots of positive feedback about the fact that we are planning and are moving forward to be fully open at a full schedule next year. But one of the most important things that we wanted to mention in our board meeting tonight is, you know, as we've been communicating, is the opportunity we have to return all of our regular ed transportation in our community. That has been, you know, a big hurdle that we've been working to get over in order to have the resources to do that. And Ms. Martin's leadership, and as you know, Mr. Trotter, who was here earlier, and our transportation department has, you know, as you know, everybody has pulled off miracles. Transportation this year transitioning, as you know, to special education transportation only. We're so pleased and excited to be able to have the return of regular ed transportation in our district. As you know, regular ed transportation is unheard of in most school districts. It's been a really important piece of our community, and what we saw this year and what we're so grateful for is our parents and their patience with us, and our community members and their patience with us as we have more cars line up than we ever had out in front of schools, right, to drop off and pick up kids. But we know that transportation is also a huge contributor to the overall well-being of our community. It gets cars off the road. It allows people not to sit in traffic, dropping off and picking up their kids. And also, you know, as you know, we're the largest employer in our community, and we're really pleased to be able to bring back all of our bus drivers and more, as many as we can get. So we need everyone to be recruiting fabulous bus drivers for our school district. But we couldn't be just more excited about that idea about getting transportation back. So we wanted to share that with you. And then also knowing that we are really looking to get back as close as possible to the instructional schedules that we were on, meaning the starting and the stopping times at where we were in the 1920 school year. And I share that because we do a pretty intentional job of wanting to stagger those starts, because when we have schools as close as Potter and Live Oak, for example, or Fallbrook, STEM, and May Ellis, you know, and we've all been living with what that has meant, right?
Sure.
But, and so once we get back to those staggered start times, it helps ease congestion all around our community. So just great news about getting to be open in the fall. And we just wanted to be able to share that with you. And that's what we're working toward. And we've communicated that out to our families, and we will continue to do so.
Wonderful. Very nice.
Yeah, so we're happy about it. So that's all I have, Mrs. Lee.
Thank you so much.
You bet, you bet.
On the consent agenda, we saw those buses were purchased, so very wonderful. That must be fun to spend $440,000 on brand new buses, and they're all being cleaned, it sounds like. You have contracted to have them beautifully cleaned and ready to go for the school year. So that's all wonderful news. Okay, and so now we will move on to the human resources. It's an action item, and we are going to be meeting our new human resource assistant superintendent. So I'll again turn this over to
Thank you so
Dr.
much.
Singh.
Mrs. Lieber, I am, and our governing board, I'm really, really proud to introduce to you Mr. Brian Morris, who's here in the back with his lovely wife, and he'll have the opportunity to introduce Amanda in just a second. I just want to make mention, as you know, we've shared with you during the process, the course of selecting a new Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources to take Mr. Billingsley's place when he retires. We've shared with you that process, the really rigorous process that we went through to find and select a candidate for our district, to have big shoes to fill, but also to bring just a new set of eyes and a new way to work with us to continue the great work that Mr. Billingsley has done. Mr. Brian Morris is currently the Director of Human Resources in the Poway Unified School District. He has many years, as you saw and have seen in his bio, of experience in the HR world. But Brian was also a school principal and knows that well, and has also worked in student services, so he knows that well. So he's coming to us after working in a number of school districts. Most recently, he is currently in Poway, and Poway's loss is absolutely our most monumental gain. And we are so proud to introduce him to you tonight and the approval of his contract. So, Mr. Morris, welcome. We'd like to
Am I on?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, President Lieber, members of the board, Dr. Singh, members of cabinet. It's a privilege to be here. It's very humbling to be here in Fallbrook and for this opportunity tonight. So I want to thank you all. I do want to introduce my most important person here is my wife, Amanda, of 24 years. And the 24 years we've been married, she's only known me as an administrator. So you can imagine what she's been through. So, yeah. And so I so appreciate her through all this. So this is really a privilege. I'm looking forward, like all of you, that I think next year is going to be normal, I think. And so we can all jump back in and see kids coming on campus and having fun and doing things they're supposed to do. So we're all looking forward to that change. And I can't wait to get started here in Fallbrook with everything. So wish I could start today, but we're a little shorthanded in Poway right now. So yeah. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Great to have you on board.
So I will, this is an action item, and so I'm going to read a report that we'll be voting on. So Mr. Brian Morris, Assistant Superintendent, Human Resources. This is summary of recommendation. It is recommended that the board approve the employment contract for Mr. Brian Morris, Assistant Superintendent, Human Resources, with an annual salary of $157,358 and fringe benefits in the form of health insurance at a maximum cost of $17,399. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
A second?
I'll second.
Great. And so do we have any additional comments or?
Well, I wanted to say I really appreciate you explaining the process to us, Dr. Singh and Ms. Norby, and the involvement of all the different stakeholders, CSEA and FIDA and different parts of our district. Before I was on the board, one of my ideas was that it would be nice to have parents involved in hiring. And now I understand kind of the HR restrictions and the privacy restrictions on that, but it's nice to know that there are, so many different employees involved. And I know a lot of our employees are also parents, so they're going to have that lens. And it sounded like we had some great applicants, but we got the best.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yes. So any more comments? Any more comments? Well, we will take a vote. So Mrs. Lundin.
Aye.
And Mr. Favela.
Hi.
And Mrs. Lopez.
Aye.
And Mrs. Libas.
Aye.
And I vote aye. So congratulations.
Welcome.
So much.
Well, please don't feel compelled to stay. We're so happy you're here.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Nice to meet you, Amanda.
We have a nice overlap plan between Mr. Billingsley and Mr. Morris. too.
Okay, good.
Good.
Nice to meet you both.
Okay,
Nice to
thank
meet you.
Welcome to the family.
Wonderful.
Okay, now we'll move on to business services. And this is an action item. I'm just going to read a little bit of this because it is, I think, something that the people in the community might not understand by just the annual resolution statement, but it's pursuant to various sections of the California Constitution, Education Code, and Governance Code. It is necessary that the governing board pass a series of resolutions prior to the beginning of each fiscal year in order to maintain a current register of persons authorized to act on behalf of the school district. So this is what we'll be voting on. I believe there's 6 of them. It's going to be one vote for all 6. Do we have a motion
I so move.
and a second?
Second.
Okay, and do we have any discussion about the resolutions?
Good.
Okay, so we will take a vote. Mr. Favela,
Aye.
Mrs. Libas.
Aye.
Mrs. Lopez,
Aye.
Ms. Lundin,
Aye.
and I vote aye. So they, all 6 of the motions have now passed. Thank you. And now we'll move on to educational services. This is the first read of parent and family engagement policy. Do we have any comments? This is not an action item. This is just for discussion at this point. I believe this is a law, right? That they're just a federal law that we're.
Legislation. now. We've
Legislation.
always had these plans in place at our schools.
Uh-huh.
And now the legislation says that we'll have a district plan that directs our schools to do it and that the board recognizes.
Thank you. Thank you for that explanation. I appreciate that. Okay, and then we do have an action item for out-of-state travel, define learning, PBL champions STEM camp. I know Mrs. Livas, you were pretty excited about this. Wanted to go, I could tell by your
I would love
comment.
to go. It
All
sounds like a
want
lot
to
of fun.
go.
Well, and always love seeing things that, we saw in our LCAP that parents, but parents and staff brought up at the meetings that we have. And, then it shows up on our agenda. So it's great to
Yeah.
see.
In fact, I must comment that you are so fabulously reactive because, you see it and then it appears. So that's wonderful. Do we have any more comments? Okay, so we will take a vote. Mrs. Lundin.
We have to make a
Yeah, we
motion.
need a
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Let's
That's
make a
okay.
motion.
I'll make a motion.
A second.
Second.
And so now I will call the roll. Mrs. Lundin.
Aye.
Mr. Favela.
Aye.
Mrs. Lopez.
Aye.
Mrs. Libas.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Thank you. And then the next is, see, I think we're on to the consent agenda. Is that correct?
We are.
Is there anything on the consent agenda that anybody would like to pull? And or are there any discussion points on the consent agenda?
Wanted to say thank you to the teachers and the staff who have stepped up to teach the summer programs. That is, totally voluntary, and I would not blame any of our teachers for wanting to just sleep all summer after the year we've had. But looking through that list, it's some of our best teachers, and it's just great that the children that are selected for these programs, they're selected because we think that they would benefit from some extra time in the classroom, and they're going to get some great teachers.
It was quite an extensive consent agenda, and I have printed it all out here. And my only thought that I wanted to mention was, and I saw it also on the DLAC to-do list, and that is Luminary. Is that the name of the? It would just be wonderful if we could come up with a way to offer some level of music throughout our school, because it's so tied to math. And I think also it is just a bragging point, because I think all parents want it for their kids. And I just, would be lovely if sometime we could just sit down and just brainstorm about, a friend of mine is on a committee in Temecula, and they have a foundation and they provide all the funding for violins in all of their schools. And it just seems like I've reached out to the woman who runs it twice, and she's just wondering why I'm bothering her. But it would just be so nice to come up with something like that, or the recorder, or Mr. Billingsley could come back and teach.
That was coming.
Okay, so that was my one comment. Any other comments on consent?
I just wanted to mention, interested in these agreements that we have with Cal San Marcos, San Bernardino Alliance. It's really great to see this, these services being housed here at the district. So wanted to highlight that.
Yes, that is wonderful. It's a wonderful partnership. I know that I was teaching ESL in the classroom that was being dedicated for that event. So I got to see all of their workarounds and their wonderful classes that I saw the paperwork from the classes. So that was, I can see that they're really engaged. Okay, so do we have a motion to pass the consent agenda?
I move that we pass the consent agenda.
Second?
I'll second.
And any additional comments or conversation?
Oh, I also want to say, I love seeing all of the things on the purchase order for Mary Fay, the furniture from last time and the computers and to know all of that's coming out of grant money. It's
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, and the fact that there's a possibility we can offer it to our parents again. That was such a successful event we did before. And just as we both mentioned in our responses, we just hate to see so many things maybe just get, yes. It's just volumes of beautiful furniture, I'm sure. Probably it's all antiques.
And a lot of old stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say. They say after 75 years, it's an
Alright.
antique. So we might have antiques.
So there's a lot that we are happy to see go. And being replaced, obviously, with this beautiful grant, being replaced with beautiful equipment and furniture for our military connected kids. So thank you.
I did ask you already about the elevator situation, but if it's under warranty, do we need to be paying for the contract?
We do, yeah, we do. Smart, would you like to explain that?
Sure. It's a requirement of having an elevator in a school district that we have a certified by the state person do at least a monthly inspection. We don't have anybody on staff that is a certified inspector. So we have to go out and get a contract. I will tell you that we were able, I feel good about, we were able to successfully negotiate a 3-year contract that the grant's paying for at a reduced price rather than just looking at a 1-year deal. And then we would be, looking at it being a general fund operating expense. So we'll look to do the same thing, but it is a more cost-effective way to meet the requirement of having the monthly safety inspection and maintenance on it. So we do still have a warranty. It is under warranty, but it was 2019, I believe it was April 2019, was when the contractor started with them doing the inspections, and that expired, 2021. It was a 2-year agreement that they did it as part of their contract when they award for the bid. So now it is our expense, but although it's $30-some thousand, that is still much more cost effective than hiring a person or having a person on staff that would have to do that inspection.
Okay.
Good job, 3 years.
Thank you. Yeah, good job negotiating. Okay, so we will now take a roll call. Mrs. Lopez.
Aye.
Mrs. Libas.
Aye.
Mrs. Lundin.
Aye.
Mr. Favela.
Aye.
And I vote aye. And we will close the meeting at 7:15.